I want to share with you a fairly simple bird barn that I've built to looks like a hay silo or a hay barn in real life, but I've been putting my bird Pokemon in there. Uh, Pretty simple materials, all early game things, so things you can have early on. The pillars we can pirate those from Fuchsia City, the Wooded Wasteland, and I'll keep these materials as usual in the description, so you'll know what you'll need. But this is going to be a pretty simple build. We're going to start with a 7x8. So that's 8 wide. So we're going to start with 2. We'll skip 2. And then 2 more for the gate. We're going to skip 1. And this is where we'll do 5 more for a total of 7 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll skip this corner again. And we'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, we're going to skip a spot. And then, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in these corners, we're going to be putting these wooden pillar lowers. So we'll put those down, 1 in each corner. It is probably easier to build all 3 pillars at once, but the way my brain works, I like to see things sort of completed. And in fact, you'll see, so we'll start finishing the pillars here. And for me, this makes it easier just because we're going to connect these pillars at the top with the wooden pillar uppers. So we'll finish those out. And then 2. And this is not going to change regardless of how we handle the roof. So at the end, I'll show you 3 different roofs, but this setup, this will be the shell of our barn, no matter which roof you pick. So we'll fill in these spots. This can go a little taller if you want. I didn't want the build to be too big personally, so I only gave 1 block of space in between. Your Pokemon are going to use the door. They're not going to be flying in and out the top as much, so I wouldn't worry about the aesthetics of giving them a fly through. If they have a house on the ground, they're almost always going to go on the ground to get there. So we'll fill those in. All right. So here we are. We'll put our gate here soon. But now let's move on to the flooring. We'll go Magnemite form for this. Again, you can do this without Magnemite form early game, but if you have it, it's so much easier. So we'll put 2 3x3s down. 1 and then 2. And then I'm going to switch to the 2x2 and do 3 of those to finish out the center. 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll do singles. So 1 and 2. And then while I've got the hay, let me switch to the place, not the replace. And this is artistic. So we're going to put it down a 2x2. And then we're going to stack this up as a staircase. So we'll do 1 more, and then 1 more, and then 1 on each side, and then 1 on each side, so that we have kind of a Minecraft Cubert staircase. We're going to put 1 in each corner, just for aesthetics. I don't want to split the difference between the wall and the hay, and you'll see why soon, as we start decorating. But here's your floor. So we've got our hay in, showing off that, we've got a nice comfy bed for our feathered friends. So we'll put our door in there. And now this is being recognized as a house. We'll start roofing it. And for me, this is my preferred roof. I don't like to get too extravagant with my roofs like this. You see I'll go off to the left for 1 because those of you that have seen my other videos know I love an overhang. So we'll start those. I'll speed it up. We'll get through this. It's just, we're going to do 5 rows of slate tiles all the way up. Slope tiles, excuse me. All the way up until we meet that crest. And boom, your roof is done. Now there's plenty of space there in the top where if you wanted to build another hayloft or something, you certainly could. The imagination is a beautiful thing here. So there's more hay if you want from what we asked for originally. But we'll start doing some greebling and making it pretty. So we'll put down a cart here. I did want to try to place the hay on there, but hay does not sit nicely on those carts. I'm guessing it's because it's a block and not an item, which is fine. We don't have to have hay on it. It can just sit there. So we'll put some perches in for our bird Pokemon. And then you notice there's a gap there. We left that gap earlier intentionally. So we'll put a birdhouse in there, again, just to make some nice places for our Pokemon. And then we're going to throw in 3 ladders. This is all decorative. This just gives that idea and the image of we have a nice little barn here. Now, I chose to put some stone walk paths here. You don't have to put anything down. Your Pokemon will be happy either way. They've got a lovely place for them to live. And if you like this roof and like this build, you're done. You've got a nice little barn that you can be proud of. However, I did promise you 2 roofs. So here's the second roof. This one's also fairly straightforward. So we're going to start with a tile-hipped roof piece. I like to put these on the corners because I don't trust myself when I'm counting things out or placing them down. I mess up way too often. So if I put them down first, then that gives me a spacer to know that I'm not putting down too many things. So from our tile-hipped piece, we'll slip into a sloped roof tile, and then start placing those down. And so this is going to go up and be shrunk by 1 block on each side every time, just like we would if we're doing like a Minecraft staircase. So we'll put these down. We'll do 1 row, and then I'll speed this up so you can see the finished product. I would hate to make you sit through the entirety of this, but we will go through this. This will come up to a flat roof. So we can put some adornments on there. So there we go. Last 2. And then we'll come up. There needs to be something for us to grip onto. So here I've put down a sloped roof tile. And it was here that I fell off the roof. So we switched to Magnemite form and grab our sloped roof tiles again to go back to putting those down. I don't want to switch too many times in between tiles if I can help it. So as we do layers, we'll put these down, we'll throw our hip tiles in, and then we will finish her out. So then 1 more row. Now this is going to leave a flat rooftop, and you can leave it flat. I chose to put the Magikarp finials on here. I just like the goofy look. You don't have to do that. It can be flat. The one thing I will note is that weather vanes don't like sitting on top of these. Weather vanes need to go on top of other blocks. Now, for our next roof, we're going to use the same materials, but this one's going to be a little more convoluted. So walk with me through this. We'll do this 1 row at a time, and then we'll speed up a little bit. So I went ahead and got Magnemite form for this. Let's start with a tiled hipped roof. So we'll put that down. Now this is where it gets tricky. We're going to switch into a roof valley. These are going to be fairly tight here. And so we'll put another one down to follow that out. Because again, I really like my eaves and having them the overhang. So we'll put that down. And the next piece, we're going to put a slope roof block. So we'll start having that slope go up. And then we're going to step in 1 every time for that slope tip. So we'll match that on this side. So we'll grab the valley again. We'll put her in. Come down 1 for another valley. Grab that hipped roof piece and put her in to match. And so this roof is going to be symmetrical on tabs, basically. So we'll put our tiled hip piece down. We'll switch pieces. We'll push that up a little bit. Gives us something to bite into when we put our next pieces in. But here we can fill in the gaps with our sloped pieces. And then the next will be a tile valley piece. So because this is an odd numbered side, it doesn't come to an even point. So we're going to have this flat here. So we'll fill in to mirror both sides. And then on this top piece, I opted to put a tiled roof decoration and then a flat tile. On the one hand, because I was short tiled roof pieces, the curved pieces. On the other hand, I also kind of like how it looks better than all 3 together. So that's 1 of our 4 sides of this roof done now. we'll finish this out. We don't have to go to the top. You're going to end up filling it in, but I opted to fill it in here because I wanted to see how far the roof point came up. But we'll start on our opposite side. And here we're going to do something a little bit similar. Except we'll put our tiled hip roof piece down first. But then, for symmetry's sake, on both sides, we're going to put a slope piece. Remember, when we're doing roof pieces, we're going to step in one every time, basically. So your next step is going to be a step off from where your previous one was. So we'll put matching valleys in. And then this means that's a slope piece. Yes, sirree. So we'll put our slope piece in. It doesn't seem to want to snap. And this is the only annoyance I have really with building roofs is when pieces just don't want to snap. So now we've got a place for our tiled hipped piece to snap to. We'll put another set of valleys in. And we snap. Now these are going to come to a point. So this is a roof that is going to come to a point instead of a flat. So we're done here on this piece. We don't have to worry about any other extra finials or any extra coverage. We will just finish out the cornicing and the overhangs the way I like. Again, this is an extra step you do not have to do. I just really like the look of it. This is me being extra. So then, because of that extraness, we'll grab another sloped piece after we put this valley in. We'll grab our slope. I am the worst with controls. So we'll grab our slope. Then we'll finish it off with a tiled hipped. And we snap. And then we bring the other side to match. Throw in our slope. And then our valley. We'll tack on our last valley in the bottom. And we're almost done with this portion of the roof. We'll go back to the top. We'll put in one more set of slopes and a hip. So now we have gotten our roof to its crest. We're meeting and we're halfway done with this roof. So the next step is going to be to mirror this on both sides so that we have some continuity. We're going to start filling in the remainder of our roof, and I hope this part is fairly self-evident. So because we're stepping in every time, now we're going to put in these valleys. So these valleys are going to start making that peak as we go up. So we can stick a valley in all those open holes. And then we'll start on the other side. We'll put our start hip roof. And here I'm speeding it up because at this point you're mirroring what you've already done. So if you are confused or if you miss a piece, you can look and see what you've already done on one side and copy it on the other. So we'll fill in here. We'll go all the way up. There's our valleys, our final slopes, and then we'll finish off the front with our overhang. It's our final lipped piece, final slope on each side, and then a final valley. And there we are. If you like this, then our roof's complete. I, however, tend to be a little bit extra, as we've seen. So here, I'm going to take out the flat sides on both pieces, and we're going to replace those with Magikarp decorations. And then the flat pieces we're going to replace with the decoration we're taking off. So Magikarp is leaning up against the curved piece on both sides. So we'll do this on the left, and then we'll mirror it on the right. And that gives us a little bit of symmetry, but I think it looks nice, and it has that just little pop of extra that at this point is almost like a signature for me. So more will always be more, in my opinion. Once your final roof tile is placed, you truly are done. If you enjoyed this build tutorial, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more Procopia content from Beau.